Boom! Just like that. We back. We back. We back. 99 two-door Tahoe lsswap. That's just sitting there because we're trying to keep the moisture out of it. But check it. Question for y'all, man. This is the route that I think I'm going to go. The original harness, I probably should have pulled it out. But man, there's a whole bunch going on down there to get to it. And this, by looking at lsswap.com, I'm only going to use like 4 wires out of this, 1 wire out of this, 2 wires out of this, and nothing out of another. So, and then you just plug them into what I'm thinking. You plug them into this. You plug them into this. You have to keep the factory box right there. I mean, I done did this swap before. I've never done the 4-wheel drive. That's my only concern, man, is this 4-wheel drive stuff. Because I know this over here is 4-wheel drive stuff I have to have. This over here is some 4-wheel drive stuff I have to have. And I'm not familiar and 100% sure of what is what. I was kind of in a hurry when I pulled this stuff out. I should have marked it, but it only plugs in one way. I don't need that. I did mess up and cut off my park reverse neutral switch. I feel like I can just plug these back in the way they should be because, you know, you have a white wire here, gray wire there, yellow wire there. Then you have a yellow wire. The only difference is going to be these 2 greens. These 2 greens, I can probably mix them up because they are not marked as in green and white or green and black. So I'm not too concerned about that. That's the one's reverse light, I know for sure. Park reverse neutral, so you can see it on the dash. No big deal. O2 sensor from the truck, which we're not going to use. I kept all the bolts, all the other stuff. This is my starter wire, original starter wire from the truck. We are going to use that. I kept all the AC stuff because we want to put AC on this thing eventually. This engine is a well-kept, I know it don't look good, but it's a well-kept 5.3 that we know runs. Go back, check the other videos, and you will see that 5.3 runs after setting for I don't know how many years.
Man, it's hot again, man. Is it really this time of year? Anyway, here is PM from the factory. How much of it is it going to control? I don't know, man. I know the body control module controls a lot of it. I don't think that I even need this anymore. Hopefully I don't need this anymore, man. I'm watching
lsswap.com. We pulling these chairs, these seats out. They're going to stay for now. Because the only problem is these 2 front seats are pretty rough. But other than that, everything else is good. The back seat's real nice. Uh-oh. The back seat's real nice. Vacuum on it. So we got to get this thing fired up. Fired up, fired up. 99 2-door Tahoe, man. With some 08, 07 wheels. I really like the wheels. Y'all seen the truck as we drove it around with that spider injected 5.7. Got hot, didn't want to run, got hot, transmission didn't want to shift. Yeah, that's what we got jumping here. But this intake is just sitting here. This is not the factory intake that came with that engine, or did it? Let's see. No, it's not. It's not it. It's not that. Not the intake. The intake that we had, I want to say this is the original intake of something I had laying around, and it had bad injectors. Story of my life. Either bad injectors, no gas. Anyway, so like I said, I probably should have pulled this whole harness out. And I'm over here looking. I'm like, man, how do I get this thing out? I know you take it off from the firewall down there, but how in the world? There's a lot of stuff you got to move to get to it, and it will probably make it a nicer looking setup under the hood versus leaving all this crap that I don't need. Now I can cut it all back inside the harness because there's a lot that I don't need. Like I said, man, there's a lot that you don't need, and then there's a lot that I do need. For what I gather, that this is like a power source for the four-wheel drive. It has to have its own power, so you have to keep that. And it's tied into some of the transmission stuff, I think. But there's some wires that needs to be plugged in from this communication-wise into this communication-wise, because this came off of four-wheel drive as well. Now, like I said, this is my dilemma here. I got a brand new China Boy harness, and I'm thinking about just using that versus this, and just taking the plugs from here, the original harness, and plugging it into the China Boy setup here. So I don't have a bunch of extra that I don't need as I got right here. Like this harness here wouldn't hurt to be redone, repinned, and all that to make it, you know, nice and pretty. China Boy's already done. So what do y'all think, man? Should I just go ahead and repin the China Boy with these, or use this, because it doesn't have a power source yet, use this and sort everything out? I'm thinking repin the China Boy. I'm seeing like this wire here. I see this. This is my power source to my four-wheel drive. Then I see it in there where it goes. Right there. I see where that runs. How do I get that wire harness undone? Man, it's tight. It's not much room. Then, if I ain't mistaken, you got to have certain wires also, power wires as well, for ABS. You have to have those. So, man, this is different. This is different. And I mean, I know I can figure it out. And my goal is to have this. Y'all stay tuned, because we're gonna be turning the key over on this thing, and in the next couple videos on the 99 two-door Tahoe. 99 two-door Tahoe. This is the last year, if I ain't mistaken, this is the last year for two-door SUVs. I want to say. Don't quote me, but I want to say. Look, y'all. There it is. Okay, we got the names right. This is Lynx, and that's Lucky. Lucky and Lynx. And the black cat, we ain't gonna discuss his name. But yeah, man, Lucky, Lynx, and hopefully they'll get rid of some of these critters out here. But anyway, I ain't seen any. The black cat does a heck of a job of knocking them in the head. So long as it keeps doing that, we are golden. But the goal is, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Like this wire here. This wire here. I mean, what is this? What does that go to? What's that go to, man? I'm pretty sure it goes to the transfer case. Pretty sure this goes to something to do with the transfer case. Actually, there's some motors and stuff underneath the truck that this plugs into. I do know that for sure. So a lot of this, like body control harness and stuff, headlights and windshield wipers, all that stuff is separate. It's separate. And it would be easier for me to do that. You know, just go ahead and pull this engine harness out, unplug it from the firewall, however that's done, bring everything out, tap it in to the China Boy harness, and then plug it in. Because like I said, there's a lot of sensors here that I'm not going to need at all. But there's a lot of other things that controls AC and stuff, and that kind of stuff that I am going to need. So drawing board it is. I've been looking at this what do you call it, the LT1 swap, back and forth. Then I'm looking at the schematics for GM, back and forth. Then I'm looking at the LT1 swap back. I'm trying to make sense of what wires does what, which I think I got it figured out. I like the grill. We got to get him into traffic. Reason being is we bought this as a quick project to take care of. I was hoping that I was going to get away with just doing a two-wheel drive and letting it ride. You know what I mean? But nope. I want my four-wheel drive working. All right, we got to get the four-wheel drive working. So this is two-tone. Two-tone, four-wheel drive, LT 99 Tahoe with the 5.3. We got a lot of miles on the 5.3, but the 5.3 is well taken care of. For sure. Know that for a fact. We know the vehicle. We know where the vehicle came from. We knew who it belonged to. And the transmission's got less than 500 miles on it. I want to say less than 500 miles on the transmission from a rebuild. So we know that that's good. So let's get it. After further inspection, we have not touched anything, changed anything, looked at anything, done anything different. But for starters, I need to get this fuse box off. And that is, I think, 2 13s underneath here. I know one, 2, 3. 3 13 millimeters for this fuse panel. Then I might be able to get inside here to get this rest of stuff off. So let me get some tools. Y'all see I got that loose. I got that loose. I got all the wires loose. So I think it was a T30 or T27. 113 and 113 millimeter, and the rest were 10 millimeters. And I'm ready to pull everything through this, through underneath the brake booster, but I'm stuck over here because this has to come out as well. Right there. See that plug in right there underneath this reservoir? So I think I gotta go find a 7 millimeter. Yes, it's raining, but I got to get this done, man. Gotta get it done. So I'm trying to find a 7, and then I can do the rest, possibly do the rest in the house. You know what I mean? Boom! Just like that, we found that 7 millimeter. That plug inside here, inside the cab, you unplug it. You unplug, I'll show you here in just a minute. Oh, you unplug this white one, and you unplug this red one. And I want to say all this is, these are controls for your dash, for engine light, tack signal, and OBD2 port. I want to say that's what those are, but nevertheless, we got the harness off, man. So now we just got to snake it through that little spot over there without ripping up everything. I prefer not to do this in the rain. And the sad part about it is I probably should have done this, like I said, when I had the motor out. So, we'll move over here, attempt to pull all this through that little bitty hole right there. Snake it over. Snake it over. Oh. And that's the thing, it gets caught on something. I mean, do I got it all unhooked? I feel like I do. But then there's one running down right here. What is this going to? Where's that going? Ah, who knows? Who knows? There. I had to remove the reservoir to get to that bolt. No big deal. 2 13 millimeters. Those are 2 7 millimeters. And like I said, man, there's going to be so much snagging. Because I got to pull it all through that little hole right there. And if I can just get some of this other crap out of the way, it won't be so bad. The plus part about all this is I can still use the same throttle cable. So still use the same stock throttle cable, which is a plus, big plus. Let's see here. I got something else. ABS, see. The other stuff I forgot. I unplugged the ABS. So much crap, man. Let me unplug that, see if I can get this other stuff pulled through. Unplug it, pull it out. You know what? Didn't even need that, man. It's the wrong one. Let's see. It's this one. What is this? It's this one. This big one and this one. How they plugged in. Tab. Pull it back. Okay. It's red. I have no idea what that goes to. Another tab. Pull it back. Oh, there. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and plug this one back up because no need to not have it plugged up. All right, that one's plugged back up. Now, what needs to happen here? Uh-oh, I got one more plug down there that I can plug. What is it? I don't know. Gas. Fuel pump. Yep, fuel pump. All right, so that's undone now. Let's snake all this in here. Let's snake it all over here. Snake it all over here and make this harness way smaller. There's a lot of stuff on here prior to needing. What else I got? Hold on now. There's another one. There's another one on the ABS. Okay. All right. Got that one off. All right. All right. I just got to make sure I plug all this stuff back in where it belongs, like this. And I know that most of this is plug and play. You can't mix it up. You can't mix the plugs up. It's just like right now. This right here. It's a relay. And that is for the controls for that. It had a snow plow on the front. Well, we no longer have the snow plow, so guess what? We're cutting that. Glove box had to come off. That wire unplugged. This red wire unplugged. Like I said, I want to say this is all controls for your dash. All right, after a fight, we got that dude out. Look at all this, man. All this. A lot of this, and I mean a lot of this, is not going to be used. Quite a bit of it. So let me dive into it. I know this is going to be power source type of stuff. That's going to have to see power, which we can use that as my power source to the LS computer. And I kind of want to keep some things like alternator plug, ABS plugs, AC plugs. So I'm going to have to go through it pretty thoroughly so I know what plug is what. But let's get it. Man, this looks a little more daunting than the LS harness itself. I mean, you look at this one, and then you look at that one. Of course, that one looks a lot cleaner. I feel like there's a lot more going on this harness. Needless to say, that's neither here nor there. Garbage can, garbage bag, razor blade, schematics, tape, so I can match and mark what's what. And what I like to do when it comes to LS stuff, like if I'm gonna build a harness, I like to have an intake on the table, and I route everything off the intake to whichever side it goes. I already know that I'm going to try to mount the ECM here because that's where the factory one was. Maybe it'll fit there, maybe it won't. And as you can see, there's a lot more stuff still here, that we didn't even mess with. What is this? It's got to plug into something. I want to say plugs into this harness. I know this is O2, but I'm not sure about what that is. I'm not sure what that is. We'll find out though. I don't want to unplug it because I don't know. But we said we still got some stuff over here. How much of it is needed, we don't know. Starter solenoid. What's that for? That's for I want to say that was for that hydraulic pump and all that for that plow that was on here. We still got the bracing for the plow, but we no longer have the plow. Power wires, yeah, and the ground and all that was for the plow. I got a broken bolt here, broken bolt there. They're sticking out far enough to where I don't have to, weld anything on it. I should be able to just heat it, pair of vice grips, and walk it back out. The coil packs are junk because I busted them pulling the motor out. But I got another set. That's no biggie. My thing now is to get this broke down to where it's just a harness that makes sense. So, like I said, a razor blade, some scissors, some wire snips, and some schematics, and then the brand new China Boy. We'll tie it into that. And as far as I know, if I'm looking correctly, this red plug here runs all the way over up to there. And then that runs to here. And that is my four-wheel drive motor controls. Cool. Like I said, I've been looking, man. Big shout out to lt1swap.com, lsswap, and swap time. I'm learning just like everybody else. I've done this, like I said, I've done this swap before, but not to this extent. And the reason being I haven't done it to this extent is because we're dealing with four-wheel drive. Now, did I have to pull all that out? No. I did not. But I felt like it'd be easier for me to do so if I just pulled it out as it is. Trace some wires, chase down some lines, some power sources, and follow some schematics, and I don't feel like it's going to be an issue. So let me get to it. All right, there she is. These are all the components that we pulled out, and there's still going to be some more that we're not going to be using from that other harness. Of course, a lot of this stuff self-explanatory per se. I don't know. I want to say this one right here was some O2 stuff, extension harness, EGR main harness for the power source, for that spider injection, and then the transmission stuff. Of course, we don't need that. Hold on. Yeah, of course, we don't need that. Like I said, I think I'm just going to go ahead and use the China Boy, of course, the China Boy, and marry what I need into the China Boy ECM setup. So the other harness does not look as pretty. It's still wires on top of wires on top of wires on top of wires. So, well, let me try to make some sense of this. This is the pass-through harness. This goes through the firewall. The one we had so much trouble trying to find the 7mm for. That's it. Right there. And then this is oil pressure sensor. We're going to go ahead and use that because it's going to use this factory oil pressure. This power, this is either the power source to the, this is power source to the ABS. More plug-ins, AC stuff, which I think I'm gonna go ahead and just pull that AC stuff out and try to use, and try to use the 5.3 AC stuff. I mean, and it still looks like a freaking mess, man. But anything that's in these plugs here, I have to plug into the LS harness. So I done had this thing spread out 4 or 5 different times trying to make heads or tails out of certain things. And I'm like, do I want to go lay it on the engine? Lay it in the engine bay to see where things go? But for the most part, what needs to go where? Like where some of these wires go. Like this orange wire. Anytime it's orange, most time it's a constant hot of sort. Pink, it's going to be ignition hot. Key on hot. Black and white, it's going to be a ground. So, you know, and then I still have the original for the starter wire. We're going to use that original wire. It's not as bad as I thought, to be honest. But it still looks like a whole gob of wires here, man. So I'm going to try to straighten all that out, put some tape around the stuff, and make something happen. I'll take this China boy, right? Here we got the China boy. And then all that's going to control, every bit of what you see here is going to control the motor. All this. All that. That's going to control the motor. But see, there's some wires here that would go through the firewall and control gauges and such. Well, we don't need them now because we're going to take these and plug these in where these are. 1 being alternator, 2 being OBD2 port, 3 being TAC, 4 being what else would there be? Fan signal. We may leave the fan signal because we are gonna put electric fans on it. But for the most part, most of this we're not gonna need. But that looks so much more prettier. And this doing it this way is easier than going through that other. Like, and this, I won't need this because we're going to use the original OBD2 port in the truck. So we won't need that. And on some of these harnesses, man, you have to, these China boy harnesses, you have to do a little something to them to make them do what you want them to do. You have to. Otherwise, these are not going to work. You have to do a little something here. You have to do a little, let's see, where's the other plug? Where's the other plug? You got to do a little something over here for the tack. And then you got to do something for the alternator. Right here. Those are things you have to do to most of these old China boy harnesses, which that's not hard to do. And the information's out there. Again, I'm not a how-to channel. So, but if you have a China boy harness and you want it reworked to where it will work and fire up your car and not have no issues, let me know. Send it to me and I'll fix it. Otherwise, you may have some issues. Ain't no guarantees, but you might. They come with schematics. So, just got to make heads or tails of it. Of course, this is going to be my, ignition wire. Now I have to tie this wire into this harness somehow. And that's going to power up this. So it's not hard. It's not hard at all. It's not hard at all. And to be honest, I could have done away with that old harness and not even mess with it. You know what I'm saying? Other than the 4-wheel drive. And that's it. And went ahead and tapped into what I need with these. Because I've done that before. Tapped in the pass-through harness into the firewall. And then everything's going to work just as it should. This should be a cleaner look. But we shall see. So let me get on it, man. Like I said, the goal is to have fire in the hole. And then we do got, where'd it go? We do got another harness. I don't know where it's for the 4-wheel drive. It's a separate harness. And it plugs into one of the plugs over there and it gets grounded. So, yeah, man. It shouldn't be that bad. We just got to be sure that we get this push button. 4-wheel drive working, baby. That's what I'm trying to get. Push button 4-wheel drive. Be the first one. Gotta try. Gotta try. China boy. Factory. Take 2, make 1. We'll see.